Well, I want to solve a problem in my country. I just came from MBA just to get more knowledge and a way to deal with the things with the knowledge and more ability to do the things. So that's why this is a concept that I'm trying to develop in the country. I want to do. This is not a matter of writing a thesis and then leave it somewhere. I'll go and implement on the ground. So we have started some discussions related to this. In the beginning I thought that I could look into the two technologies, PV and wind, but on PV is electrical systems, but wind is mechanical systems. But based on the location of the water underground, then the mechanical system were out for the specific situation in Mozambique. So I concentrate my approach on the PV because that can result on what is the objective of this assignment. Well, I have to say that the other big issue that is always a challenge is money. That's why on the technical part of it, it's not a challenge because we know how to use it, because we have been developing projects for drinking water that we provide to several people in the country. We do have at the moment like 63 systems in different villages that we are providing them water. So based on the same concept, it's easy to move for irrigation. This is the way to use energy for irrigation. Well, quickly, this is what is the presentation about. My motivation is really looking to the mother law, the constitution of the country. Agriculture is the base of our development. Mainly, that's country's agriculture country. So, based on the Article 103 from our constitution, it says that we need really to look into agriculture. How energy could really provide inputs for agriculture in order really to make the agriculture to be the solution of developing the country. Well, I have to say that we have a huge country. I was thinking to bring them up, but I said, because I've been given 15 minutes, I said, well, it's better really to short it, even being 19 slides, but I'll be there very soon. So we have 800,000 square kilometers of land as a country, and part of it, 36 millions of arable land. So you can just throw there a crop, then it comes. But you know that you can't go for agriculture without water. Water is a very key input for agriculture. Well, the questions that I was really looking at is, can we make business out of it? That's why those are the questions that we had to look at, and I had really to define how to go about these points. Well, I had to identify really the target people to discuss about this. So the farmers, the financial institutions, banks, microfinance, and things like that, including the policymakers, because they are the ones to decide what will be the framework in the country to allow the business to run. So I had really to have them, and these are the sample that I've used for the assignment. Well, as I told you, we do have this solution on the ground. We have implemented. We know how to take water from the ground and use. But at the same time, we are the country, due to the climate change that all of you know about. Some years we have floods, other years we have droughts. We have to really try to think how to use surface water. So we need really to come with a solution and use that water to provide for agriculture. So I had to think about these two possibilities, groundwater and surface water. So all these things I brought for the discussion, which somehow, based on what we have available in the country, is a suitable solution for us. Well, I went for data collection. I met several people, as I told you, by making interviews for people to these 3 different groups, and I got really results which were really surprising me. Affirmative, 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 that this solution can be really a solution for the country. Because most of the people, they are based on diesel or petrol system to pump water, which is very costly for them. And the systems is normally very difficult to operate and maintain, mainly the maintenance. The operation is related to the cost to make available the fuel to run it. And then for those, for that target group, you can see that more than half of the questions were really 100% positive. So these are just a sample just to have an idea how positive it was when I discussed. I have to say to you that after I did this to the different farmers, one of them announced me 2 weeks ago that he's now importing systems from China. I don't know how good are them, but he said that he's importing 60 systems and he wants to provide to some of their colleagues around the area where he is growing, you know, is farming. So I also had a chance to discuss with public entities where I could really, as you can see, also the positive answers from the approach that we want to really go about. And the last group was really mainly, I met the banks. I went to the banks. They have really a lot of credit lines. But I was asking them, there is no one who is coming to get here money for this kind of, they say, well, normally they just came to get not for infrastructure, but for commercial purpose. So how we should really shift it and bring them to invest on the infrastructure, because the infrastructure is the key for this. So they said, well, we need really to know more. So from this, it was possible to understand that based on this work, we could really provide information, knowledge to people in order to make them to be aware of the possibilities that the country can have to develop such a kind of solution. So, well, I had to, for this, the assignment, I had really to look for some assumptions that could allow me to make some calculations on the financial issues. So I had to define a crop, and for me it was potato, because everyone eats, and it's available everywhere. And when I went through the literature, it was possible to get all the information, because I had to live. I'm a physicist by profession, but I had to be agronomist to understand a bit of agriculture, to understand how do they do and how they work with the land. So I had to read a bit on that. It was good, because sometimes I like to do that. I have some plots and I do some agriculture. But because of this, it was possible really to go a little bit deep on some of those issues. So I had to take some of those points, the crop, the value chain, to understand a bit of the yield of that crop and the profitability of the crop, in order to see if I can really make the business and I can gain money from the business. So the technology cost based in the country, not based in the prices of China or something, but in the country, because we do have available. Let me tell you, the organization that I belong to, we do have a solar PV factory in Mozambique. We do have our. So I went to see all these issues related to the cost in order to see. But I have to say there are some assumptions that I had to have, like the inflation. When I was doing my research, the inflation in my country was really bad. It's one of the highest that we have had since we are as a country. It was around 18.5. You see? But now it has gone back. Now this year they have announced that it has gone back to 3.6 to 5 between these. So that was a big problem on but I had to really follow based on the knowledge that I got from this training, from this MBA. So I took all those information, and that was what was my focus in order to get the results. These are figures. The numbers in Metikash, you don't know Metikash. Have you heard about Metikash? No, it's our currency. From now on, you learned that in Mozambique, the currency is Metikash. You see? So these are our currency. I had to make the exercise. If you can see, you have here the discount rate, and you can see I did the calculation NPV, and you can see the green means that the things are okay. So at least we had, from this side, we realized that it's possible to do that business. That's the first question that I would like to test, and I got it. So, and these are different scenarios, but based in Mozambique, the discount rate that we were using is 20. That's why I put here the green. So when you talk about the NPV, it's like what the banks are offering. If I go to the bank, put my money on the bank, or if I invest on this project, what will happen? If I invest in this project, I will get the money. So if yes, which has given to me yes, the green, I can go for it. So that's why I saw that it's okay. But then, the inflation was there. I had to get the nominal discount rate because the inflation was there. And based on the inflation that we had in the country, oh God, really realizing in short, they can really say that, well, no energy, you can't really go for agriculture. Because you can't really pump the water. You can't make them water valuable. Well, we also see that from the farmers, they are open to invest into the farming. Okay. They want to invest in this kind of solution because they are facing big problems on operation maintenance of the system that they have at the moment. These are some of the points that but at the same time, I realized from the data analysis that we need really to provide as much as more knowledge to the banks in order to allow them to be more confident on investing the money for this kind of solutions. Well, thank you from the MBA. I learned from the process that energy really can really be a key factor to support the development of the country. These kind of solutions are more easy to operate and maintain than what we have available at the moment, which I think that we can really go for it. And then I realized that the financial institutions are ordered to do based on the credit lines that they do have at the moment. It's just a matter of putting them clear on how to go with it. So, and also bring the farmers to the bank and clear to give them the requirements on how to have access to the money. Well, to talk about this, the 5 months that you have given to me to do this, it was so hard. Yeah, it was really hard. I couldn't cry because I'm not a man, but really it was really difficult. And I believe that this is a starting point. I can really do more of this because there's still a huge opportunity of knowledge and develop concepts that can really be helpful for all of us in the country. So as I said to you, I won't stop here. The next time I'll be coming with a concrete project. I think.
Thank you, Antonio, for the great presentation. I'd like to open the floor for a question.
I have thank you for the presentation. You mentioned that you have a huge agricultural land.
Yes.
So, just asking, wondering, did you consider biofuel for instead of wind or solar, or maybe wind and solar?
Well, biofuels. Well, if you go to who was the champion of the country on biofuels in Mozambique, you'll see my face. So the answer, yeah. When we were discussing, we've done the biofuels policy in Mozambique, it was in 2009, and I was at that time the national director of new and renewable energy in the country, and I was the one who was guiding. I know very well, and there is potential to do it, yes. It's yes. We can do it.
Other question?
Sorry, thank you. I imagine that the investment cost for a small farmer to choose between, to go for like a solar system instead of a genset is much higher. And you said that financial institutions, like especially the local ones, are not ready yet because they might not see the business case behind it yet. What do you think is needed at the national level to convince and to support financial institutions to actually enter the market and to support it? And second question would be, what would be the average interest rate they would charge to these small farmers to actually invest in this technology?
That's a good question. That's really a good question. When I was discussing with them, I was telling them, well, for the starting point, in order to bring people to come, we need to change a bit on the way that we are doing in terms of the interest rates that you are using for the other kind of project. We should really come with, because most of these credit lines that they do have, it's also not, they've been given as grants to give others, I don't know how to call it in English, credit bonificado.
Concessional loans? Maybe?
Credit assessment?
Sorry?
Credit assessment?
Sorry?
Favorable. Subsidized.
Almost that. Yeah. I don't know how do you call it. How do you call it? Subsidized. Yeah, almost that. For this kind of credit lines for agriculture, it's so we are trying to push them to use this kind of for this solutions.
Any other question?
But I'll succeed. I'm telling you, I will succeed. Yeah, I'll succeed.
What was the reaction of the farmers? Because maybe they know, I'm sure they're pretty comfortable with diesel, and maybe new technology, for them could be maybe difficult to acquire in terms of maintenance, in terms of, Which was the reaction?
Look how the pros are the positive ones, affirmative ones. So when I discuss with them, because fortunately I'm a well-known person, you see, and when I was talking to them, I was telling them this is like what we have placed A, B, C location for drinking water. But what we want to do now is, instead of using that for drinking water, we want to provide you in order to use for irrigation. So it was an easy way to communicate with them. That's why I'm saying that the farmer that had more interaction, he now is importing now. He assumed that it's possible. So I invite him also to do some research on the technology. And I believe the result was positive. That's why he's importing 60 systems. It's not 5, it's not 2, 60 systems. So I mean, it's a huge number. So it means that they are confident that it will result in a positive balance for them.
And do they have any concerns about the acquisition of new technology? Concerns
On
on the acquisition of new technology.
the new technology.
Yeah.
Well, it's always, new technology is always like, but then if it happen like this, what will be the solution? Then we have to say, well, look, for instance, we have done this, and we have people who can support you on this and that. What about this? Well, this, we can go about it. So there are, and based on that word, this is a free maintenance, which is not remember, even being renewable people, it's not. But it's not challenging the same as the other that they have. So they realize that it's possible. Yeah.
Any other questions? Final question? Final discussion? Okay, if not, I'd like to thank you again, Antonio, for the presentation.
Thank you.
Great.